Welcome to the Chronicles of Lost Relations. My wife, Anna, had been diligently focused on a special project for the past 4 months. While it wasn't a personal undertaking, she took on the role of project lead and bore the weight of ensuring its success. This project held significant importance for her and her company, Covington Group, as there was a genuine risk of the company facing collapse if it wasn't executed successfully. Anna held a bachelor's degree from Albright and an MBA from Wharton. Without a doubt, she stood out as the most intelligent member of our family. After high school, I embarked on a journey as an auto mechanic, and 21 years later, I found myself still immersed in the same trade. I was indifferent, however. The work was fulfilling, and it provided sufficient income to support Anna's college education and raise our 2 children. We weren't living in opulence, but we were managing to make ends meet. Anna became pregnant merely 3 months after our wedding, at the age of 18. The initial years of our union were challenging as we resided with my parents in their spacious home. With 4 of my siblings already departed, there was ample room, which also provided us with convenient childcare as Anna worked toward her college degree. After 6 years of dedication, she finally completed her 4-year degree, overcoming the challenges posed by 2 pregnancies during her journey. In the meantime, I maintained a consistent pace and seized opportunities for extra hours whenever needed. Once Anna completed her studies at Wharton, we secured our own apartment. She received proposals from numerous prominent companies, yet each one necessitated our relocation. I was fine with the idea of moving, but Anna preferred to remain near home. That's the reason she decided to join Covington Group. It offered a good salary, but more significantly, it provided her with a sense of responsibility and the opportunity for advancement within the organization. Anna was a committed and industrious member of the team. The important presentation was scheduled for Thursday at the newly opened hotel in Philadelphia. I dedicated a few days away from my job to assist her in any way possible. Ultimately, my main contribution was to prepare a few meals for her upon her return home. I found her job somewhat perplexing, and to be truthful, I didn't feel compelled to delve deeper into it. I had never found high-level corporate business to be particularly engaging. Business professionals from Europe, Asia, and South America often made visits, with the company taking care of their airfare and offering accommodations at the luxurious new hotel. Based on Anna's observations, the company appeared to be inflating its financial situation, which rendered the lavish expenditures even more alarming. The presentation held significant importance, not just for her and the company, but also for the over 200 employees who relied on its success. Up until Tuesday evening, all appeared to be progressing without a hitch. Anna arrived home clad in a sleek gray suit paired with a crisp white blouse. She arranged all her essentials on the bed in the guest room. In terms of housekeeping, she maintained a relaxed attitude, yet in her professional endeavors, she exhibited remarkable attention to detail. I couldn't quite grasp the reason behind her decision to display her elegant lingerie, yet I chose to remain silent. Along with her outfit for the presentation, she packed several cocktail dresses for the social events that accompanied the conference. I had consistently steered clear of such gatherings, yet I sensed a duty to be present alongside her, if that was her desire. She expressed her gratitude for the offer, but mentioned that it wasn't needed. Before departing from her workplace, Anna ensured that all her necessary materials and equipment were meticulously organized in the trunk of her Volvo. She took the wheel herself to guarantee that everything was in flawless condition. She spent all of Wednesday getting ready and mingling with her guests in the evening. Anna's expertise was so impressive that I thought it might be best for me to simply step aside. By Wednesday night, Anna had meticulously reviewed every detail and was prepared to relax. What she craved at this moment was a steaming shower followed by a restful night's sleep. At that moment, I realized I had erred. As she showered, I began to sift through her belongings on the bed, hoping to lend a hand. However, I found myself creating a bit of chaos instead. While rearranging the items, a small white envelope tumbled out of her makeup bag. It came from a pharmacy, yet it wasn't the typical one we frequented. Inside, there were 10 pills, and the instructions left much to be desired. Take 1 pill, and if needed, a second pill 12 hours later. I was completely in the dark about the medication, assuming it could be for anxiety or nerves, yet the instructions were utterly perplexing. The prescription was under her name. I returned the envelope to its original spot just as Anna completed her shower. I chose to gather more information about the medication prior to addressing her directly. Naturally, bringing it up would require me to confess that I had rummaged through her belongings, and I despise situations like that. Once Anna had prepared for bed, I approached the computer and entered PR. 10 minutes later, I slipped under the covers beside her, but sleep eluded me throughout the night. I couldn't shake the thought of why she had picked up a prescription for the morning after pill, particularly since I had undergone a vasectomy a decade ago. The following morning, I rose early, yet I felt far from refreshed. I embarked on a lengthy stroll, anticipating that it would assist in clearing my mind. With a heavy heart, I made my way home, apprehensive about the events that awaited me there. Our son, Josh, enlisted in the Navy right after high school and was now navigating his freshman year in San Diego. Last year, our daughter Elaine tied the knot with her childhood sweetheart and has recently relocated to Dallas. Only Anna and I remained. I felt a longing for the kids, yet I eagerly anticipated the journey of aging alongside Anna. She was the sole woman who had captured my interest, and now it felt as though everything was unraveling. If Anna were involved in an affair, she was certainly concealing it effectively. Certainly, I never monitored her, never glanced at her emails or phone calls. I found no justification for it. I placed my full trust in her. I was completely in the dark about her activities at work or beyond, yet I placed my trust in her. Upon my arrival, Anna was found in the kitchen. "Where on earth have you been? Would you like some eggs, or perhaps something else? Just coffee, please." Not in the mood for conversation. "What seems to be the matter, dear?" she inquired. "It lasts just 3 days. Feel free to join if you wish, though you might find it quite dull. I truly wish I could stay, but the thought of leaving you by yourself troubles me. Your absence fills me with concern." "That's lovely, my dear, but everything will be all right. I find myself staying at the hotel for the most part. Today will be dedicated to preparing the conference room, and this evening I have a meeting lined up with prospective clients. Tomorrow, I might not even find a moment to step away. I plan to return home as soon as I can on Friday. I assure you an enjoyable weekend, if you catch my drift. Everything you've said is appealing, but it's only natural for me to feel some concern. I work as an auto mechanic, and I'm fortunate to have a beautiful, accomplished wife by my side. At times, it seems as though your attention is directed more towards your professional growth than your loved ones." "Enough," she retorted sharply. "I have always held great admiration for your profession. You nurtured 2 wonderful children and supported my college education. You are an exceptional partner, a wonderful parent, and a reliable source of support. Always keep that in mind." I sipped the last of my coffee while she tidied up the table. "Would you like me to give you a call?" "I don't think that's a wise choice. I'll be turning off my cell phone and the room phone for the night to ensure I can get some much-needed rest. I'll reach out to you whenever I can." I assisted her in loading the car, and she approached it with the same attention to detail that she applied to all aspects of her life. She would need approximately 3 hours to reach the new hotel. I lingered on the porch, observing her departure, yet I refrained from inquiring about the pills. Throughout the remainder of the morning, I lingered on the porch, consumed by a sense of worry unlike any I had experienced before. I felt diminutive, unimportant, and overwhelmed. I was merely a small-town fellow with an average job, while she was a remarkable, influential woman. It seemed like an incongruity, and I found myself questioning whether I should have recognized it sooner. I felt quite silly. The finest ensemble I possessed was a blue blazer paired with trousers. At least I possessed a handful of ties, even if they were a good 10 years behind the times. As I completed my dressing routine, the landline suddenly chimed in. "Hey there, just wanted to drop a note to say I arrived safely. The journey went smoothly, and the traffic was manageable. I will reach out to you this evening. I am currently situated in room 714. If you want to get in touch, feel free to call my cell, or you can find me at my parents' or my brother's place this evening." "All right, I love you," I responded, listening to the sound of the phone disconnecting. I leisurely made my way to Philly, opting not to head directly to the new hotel. I paused briefly to pick up a steak and cheese, aware that the night ahead would be lengthy. I found myself at a crossroads, uncertain of my next steps. I pulled into the hotel garage and lingered for a moment, uncertain about the right time to step inside. At last, my cell phone chimed, and it took the choice out of my hands. Henry, all is arranged. I'm heading downstairs to connect with some folks and enjoy dinner. Did you remember everything? Or is there something you might have overlooked? Everything is perfectly fine. Everything is set up in my room for tomorrow. Is there anything you require? Calm down, Henry. I'm switching off my phone now. I will reach out to you tomorrow morning. Very well. Enjoy yourself and have a good time. It's not fun, Henry. It's work, she said. And then there was silence on the line. I blended in quite well in the hotel lobby. The restaurant and conference rooms were bustling, allowing me to blend into the background. I grabbed a small brochure that displayed the arrangement of the hotel rooms and strolled about, pausing to observe the gathering. I was completely at a loss for what to do if Anna happened to catch sight of me. I would discover the answer when the moment arrived. I discovered a notice board detailing all the rooms occupied by the different groups. It seemed peculiar that Covington Group had no rooms booked for Wednesday night. Anna had claimed she wouldn't depart from the hotel, yet now I found myself questioning that certainty. 3 distinct dining spaces were available: family, casual, and fine dining. Anna preferred not to share meals with children, so I decided to head to the casual room first. It took just 5 minutes to verify her absence. I found more success in the gourmet lounge. A snug booth nestled in the corner, ideal for intimate discussions. Anna donned a sleek black cocktail dress that featured a daring, plunging neckline, elegantly accessorized with pearls. She exuded grace, and those around her appeared to admire it. I recognized some of the individuals Anna collaborated with, but this man was not among them. He seemed recognizable, yet I couldn't quite identify him. The lounge was pleasantly uncrowded, with an abundance of vacant seats, allowing me to navigate the room with ease. The small glass holders on the tables held flickering candles, and I extinguished mine, informing the waiter that it was aggravating my glaucoma. I placed my regular order for the chicken dish and got comfortable. The waiter refilled my coffee for the 3rd time. "Excuse me," I said. The man at the table opposite me seemed strikingly familiar. "Are you familiar with him?" "Oh, absolutely, that's Lewis Grant. He participates in the town meeting and is anticipated to pursue a congressional seat in the coming years." "Is that his spouse accompanying him?" "She possesses a striking beauty. This is actually the first time I've encountered her. He consistently reserves that table for distinguished guests, if you catch my drift." I smiled and requested the bill. Never before had I witnessed Anna display such focus on a man. It felt as if she were captivated by each word he uttered, as though he were a deity of sorts. While their behavior wasn't outright inappropriate, it certainly lacked the qualities of a purely platonic or professional interaction. As I departed, they were wrapping up their 2nd bottle of wine. At last, everything fell into place. What was the purpose of her bringing that exquisite lingerie along? I settled into a cozy nook of the lobby, hidden from view. After a brief interlude, they emerged from the restaurant, Anna's hand clasped in his as they navigated the lobby towards the elevator. I observed the elevator's floor indicators with keen attention. As it came to a halt on the 3rd floor, a wave of relief washed over me. It signified that she had not brought him to her room. But when it failed to ascend to the 7th floor, a wave of unease washed over me. It indicated that she had visited his room, just in case I was mistaken. I lingered in the lobby, my gaze fixed on the elevator for a full hour. Individuals drifted in and out, yet Anna remained steadfast. I took my empty suitcase from the car and made my way to the front desk. Despite my ability to demonstrate that I was her husband, obtaining a key card turned out to be unexpectedly challenging. Following a phone call to the room that went unanswered, they finally gave in. At last, I was heading to room 714, keycard in hand. I entered without turning on the lights. Instead, I lingered in the dimly lit room for more than an hour, ensuring that she wouldn't come back just yet. I gathered every piece of her clothing and personal items, ensuring that nothing was left behind. I examined the package of Previn. Only 10 pills remained. On the dresser, every item was meticulously organized for her upcoming presentation. I started packing the suitcase with the 24 uniquely bound promotional folders and 20 standard folders. A digital projector was set up next, accompanied by her laptop. I picked up Anna's purse and cell phone, which she had forgotten in the room. All she carried was a petite clutch, likely containing nothing more than a tube of lipstick. I meticulously examined every nook and cranny of the room, ensuring that nothing had escaped my notice. Once I was confident that I had gathered all my essentials, I set her car keys and my wedding ring on the dresser. Other than those two items, the room was completely bare. The elevator whisked me directly to the parking garage, and I effortlessly managed both suitcases. 20 minutes later, I found myself on the expressway, journeying northward. The clock had long struck 3 a.m., and I was oblivious to the hours slipping away. Shortly thereafter, my cell phone chimed with an incoming call. The caller ID displayed the reason's number. "Excuse me, Henry?" "Indeed," I replied. "Where might you be?" She inquired. I mentioned I'd arrive at the house shortly, and that was the extent of it. Silence enveloped the line. Salespeople frequently assert that the initial speaker is at a disadvantage, and it seemed like a lifetime passed before she finally broke the silence once more. "Apologies," she stated, offering no inquiries, and then disconnected the call. I switched off my phone. It was evident she had returned to her room. Later that day, she was set to deliver a presentation that could rescue her company and potentially lead to a promotion. The suitcases were tucked away in the attic of the garage. Anna had never set foot in that place, nor would she have ever considered searching for anything within its confines. At this juncture, I found myself questioning whether it held any significance at all. I collected all my garments and personal items. Many individuals possess their own set of tools, often deemed essential for their work. I swung by the store to load my things into the Subaru, then grabbed my final paycheck. As soon as the banks opened their doors, I took out every last cent from my accounts. I had sufficient resources to sustain myself for a few years, yet I was aware that I would need to seek employment in the near future. Anna and I shared a common passion for our work, and I realized I would feel her absence deeply. I dedicated several hours to exploring the Luray Caves and secured a room close to Whiteville. I found myself without a definite direction for what was to follow. On Saturday, I found myself at the Chattanooga Aquarium, captivated by the extraordinary wildlife that was entirely new to me. I dedicated a few hours to unwinding, and it truly felt like the perfect spot to be. I purchased a year pass to the aquarium, and by the time dinner rolled around, I had arranged a place to stay. A trailer on wheels nestled within a park setting. It was well-appointed and budget-friendly. I required very little. On Monday morning, I intended to begin my job search. A skilled tradesperson can consistently secure employment, particularly if they are ready to put in the effort. I could maintain a discreet presence until it was time to handle the renewal of my driver's license or car tags, and I would address those matters when the moment arrived. On a leisurely Sunday afternoon, I reached out to Elaine. I thought it was important to inform her about the situation, but it turned out that Anna had already shared the news. She was candid with Elaine about what transpired. She confessed to her betrayal. I discovered that I had departed, and as a result, she lost her position. I felt a sense of sympathy for her job loss, yet it was a consequence she had to face. I requested that Elaine inform Josh during their next conversation, and I also noted that I would follow up approximately once a month to assess the situation. I chose not to disclose my location to her. By noon the next day, I secured a position. The distance from the trailer park to the Waffle House was merely a brief stroll, perfectly situated along the way. What else could a man desire? I'm not sure how they managed the paperwork, but I was receiving $20 an hour without any inquiries. I felt a sense of fulfillment, and they were filled with joy. I didn't even have to touch the funds I had with me. Approximately 2 months later, Elaine informed me that Anna had relocated and was currently residing with her parents. Elaine lacked additional information, but was pleased to learn that I was settled and thriving. Josh reached out from San Diego to inform me that he was embarking on a cruise. He served as an avionics technician aboard an aircraft carrier. He attempted to clarify his role, but it was beyond my comprehension. I've always found technical matters to be quite perplexing. Josh and Elaine were mindful to avoid any negative comments about their mother, and I found that commendable. Life fell into a familiar rhythm. I maintained weekly communication with Elaine, and Josh and I started exchanging emails frequently. Elaine had a conversation with Anna, yet she kept the details of Anna's activities and whereabouts to herself. I never initiated the divorce proceedings, and it appeared that Anna hadn't done so either. I obtained a Tennessee driver's license, and the tags on the Subaru have been updated. I began visiting a nearby bar a few times each month, and even became involved with 2 girls who alternated as my regular companions. None of us were seeking anything serious, and that suited me just fine, leading to a harmonious arrangement for everyone involved. Life was splendid. That was ages ago, and over time, I ceased to ponder about Anna. Eventually, the Subaru began to experience issues. I had lost track of time, but the odometer read over 200,000 miles. One day, while enjoying a mug of beer, it struck me that nearly 5 years had passed since I departed. I had maintained a strong connection with both kids. At this point, Elaine had 2 children and was eager for me to come over. Josh nearly tied the knot with a woman once, but at the 11th hour, he decided to back out. I toiled 6 days a week, reserving Sundays for recuperation after the revelries of Saturday nights. Knocking on my trailer door at 6 a.m. was utterly unwarranted. It was a Friday. There in politeness was confronted by the unexpected image of a half-clad man answering the door in his boxer shorts, which, judging by her expression, was equally unwelcome for the woman standing there. She averted her gaze, yet her companion appeared unfazed. "Norm, I would have put on pants, but guests like this really get on my nerves," I muttered. "They mentioned they were searching for Henry Clay. I failed to identify them. I am not familiar with you. I'm Andrew Walker, and this is my wife, Tessa. We find ourselves facing a challenge, and we are seeking your assistance. I appreciate the offer, but I prefer to keep my evenings free. If you require any work on your vehicle, a visit to the shop is necessary." That garnered me a couple of vacant looks before the reply arrived. "This isn't related to your work. It's more of a personal matter. May we enter?" The interior of the trailer was in disarray. Since I seldom entertain visitors, I seldom felt the need to tidy up. Even my friends favor their spot. "Feel free to take a seat while I get dressed," I replied. Upon entering the bedroom, I kept the door ajar to convey my hospitality, then casually slipped on a shirt. "Care for a cup of coffee? It will just require roughly 10 minutes of your time." I cleared a few items from the couch to make space for them to sit. The coffee question remained unanswered. "We have a 4-year-old daughter whom we adopted, and she requires a bone marrow transplant. We would greatly appreciate your assistance. We're open to compensating you if necessary." "Purchase my bone marrow?" I inquired with a hint of sarcasm, only to come to the realization that they were genuinely earnest. These individuals faced a significant challenge. "I apologize. I apologize for the interruption. Kindly proceed. Our greatest opportunity to locate a donor lies with the next of kin, and you are our most promising possibility." I didn't intend to come across as dismissive, yet it happened anyway. "I believe you may have mistaken me for someone else. What is your daughter's birth date?" Tessa Walker spoke for the first time, saying she'll be 5 years old in July. Her voice carried a genuine quality. "I'm sorry to share this, but I underwent a vasectomy 15 years ago. I can't possibly be her father. What was the reason for your name being on the birth certificate?" "I'm unable to provide an answer to that. Perhaps you could consult her mother." A profound stillness enveloped the space. I empathized with their struggles, yet I was uncertain about how to offer my assistance. "What is the name of the mother?" "Annalise Clay." I stood still. The words eluded me. Perhaps I ought to have reconsidered taking those pills from her all those years back. If I hadn't, those individuals wouldn't have a daughter whatsoever. I believed I had laid all this sorrow to rest, yet now it was slowly resurfacing. Fond recollections of my beloved and that infuriating politician from Philadelphia. Just when I believed I had put it all behind me, it returned. What a frustrating situation. I whispered softly to myself. "I see your point now, and I sincerely regret my lack of consideration and thoughtfulness. I will do all that is within my power to assist you. To begin with, what prevents Anna from being a donor? From a medical standpoint, she is unable to. She's quite unwell. Feeling unwell? What seems to be the issue with her? She is facing the end due to liver failure. The doctors are not even contemplating her for a transplant. She has fewer than 6 months remaining. That seems illogical. She has consistently enjoyed excellent health. I fail to understand how a diseased liver could prevent her from donating bone marrow. The hospital is refusing to accept her signature on the consent form. Are you suggesting that there's an issue with her mind? I inquired. They lingered in silence, fully aware of the truth, yet hesitant to voice it. I aimed to avoid adding to their discomfort. Just moments before, they were of no concern to me. Yet, at that moment, I sensed an undeniable urge to assist and safeguard them. What led to this situation? I inquired. Is there any chance one of my kids could lend a hand? Perhaps, but we believed you were our greatest chance. Why not consider seeking out your biological father? We believed it was you. We are completely in the dark about who else it might be. Anna never brought up any other potential father. Indeed, she was not in a state to clarify anything, Tessa remarked. The majority of our information was sourced from the adoption agency. I had to brew some coffee and relieve myself. Please bear with me for just a moment, I remarked as I departed, leaving them seated while I prepared the coffee. In just a matter of moments, I found a way to relieve myself, making an effort to be subtle about it. I had already humiliated Tessa enough. What is your place of residence? I inquired. Westchester, PA. Let's strike a bargain. If I reveal to you the identity of your daughter's true father, you must vow to seek him out with unwavering determination until you obtain what you desire. What are you referring to? The father of your daughter holds a significant political position in Pennsylvania. He will refute all claims and likely employ legal paperwork to hinder your attempts. However, if you exert enough pressure to compel him to acknowledge the child as his, you may succeed in shaming him into providing assistance. He was able to secure the bone marrow transplant for her, correct? Absolutely, of course. But how can we achieve that? I'm uncertain. I'm simply a mechanic. I craft with metal. However, I believe the most effective approach is to utilize television, radio, and newspapers. Politicians will go to great lengths to steer clear of negative media coverage. Are there any friends you could reach out to for assistance? They both wore smiles now, as if my suggestion had sparked a glimmer of hope within them. I believe we are capable of achieving this. Who is that person? I inquired. Lewis Grant. He is campaigning for a position in the United States. Upper chamber. I'm sure he'll go to great lengths to steer clear of negative attention. The coffee brewed to perfection, yet Andrew and Tessa felt an irresistible urge to depart. Before their departure, I provided them with the contact information for Elaine and Josh, should they require assistance. I inquired about Anna's whereabouts as well. I thought I would arrive in Pensacola long before they returned to Westchester. I recently got a haircut and picked up a new shirt. Though Anna may have shattered my world, I still aimed to present myself well when we crossed paths. I discovered her trailer, a more modern and appealing double-wide. Her Volvo lingered outside, marred by a flat tire and a shattered windshield. The person who opened the door was not Anna. She appeared as though she had endured a tough experience, soaked, devoid of makeup, and perhaps in her mid-40s or early 50s. She appeared utterly exhausted. Just as I was about to speak, a voice interrupted me. Honestly, I didn't think I'd run into you in this place. It was indeed Henry Clay. You're placing me in a difficult position, I remarked. Diana Brown, she said, motioning for me to come in. Step right inside. Darling, would you like a beer? No, I appreciate it. I've come to meet Anna. Diana strolled through the room, pausing at the buffet in the dining area. Here she is, Henry, she remarked, her hand gesturing toward a brass urn resting in the center of the vacant buffet. I remained still. I stood frozen, gazing at the urn, the weight of my tardiness settling in. May I enjoy a beer at this moment? I inquired. After placing her baby for adoption, Anna relocated to Pensacola. After being laid off, she used the money she received from Covington Group to purchase the trailer. She enjoyed a profit-sharing 401k along with vacation and sick leave benefits. In time, she secured a position at a nearby garment factory in the shipping department, where she encountered Diana. Diana rented a room from Anna, and gradually, Anna's drinking began to dominate her existence. She began with wine and slowly transitioned to more potent, less expensive spirits. Ultimately, she found herself unemployed because of her addiction, leading to the depletion of her savings. She never engaged in dating or social outings. Diana remained with Anna, taking care of her utilities and purchasing food that Anna refused to eat. It spanned more than 3 years for Anna to succumb to her own self-destruction through alcohol. Incredibly, she bequeathed me the trailer and her Volvo in her will. Diana conveyed that Anna was heartbroken over her actions. She did not attempt to stop or end the pregnancy, and the adoption had been organized well in advance of the baby's arrival. Subsequently, she ceased her employment, taking on only sporadic tasks that she struggled to execute effectively. Diana observed that Anna appeared to have lost all sense of ambition and purpose in her life. She frequently mentioned me, yet she was too hesitant to reach out. Elaine had passed along my number, yet she never reached out. It seemed that the fleeting encounter had caused her more pain than it had caused me. I remained for a fortnight, then parted with Diana's trailer for a mere $1 and received $3,000 for the Volvo. Just 2 days later, I found myself in Westchester, spending time with my new friends, Andrew and Nadine. Lewis Grant was initially reluctant, yet Andrew and Nadine persisted until he finally acquiesced. He demanded DNA tests, which verified his paternity. In an effort to maintain his reputation, he found himself compelled to consent to a bone marrow transplant, which ultimately proved to be a success. Nonetheless, his journey in politics and personal life faced significant challenges. His approval ratings fell so dramatically that his party swiftly opted for a different candidate mere months ahead of the election. His spouse initiated divorce proceedings and disclosed it to the public. Currently, Anna and I are making our way to Dallas to visit Elaine and my grandchildren. I'm uncertain about how long Anna will stay with me, likely until I discover someone else. Dear audience, we invite you to share your insights in the comments below. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe.